Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacha Stottar Sadasri Srimad Avaya Charanarvinda, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Skan Bivide Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of fourth order, chapter 22. Prithu Maharaj is meeting with the Kumaras, text number 52. Griheshu Vartamanopi Sasamrajya Sriyanvitah Sajjatendriyartheshu Niraham Akirta Tirak Akarva Viheshu Vartamanopi Sasamrajya Sriyanvita Sajjatendriyartheshu Niraham Matirarkavat Vihesu Vartamanopi Swasamrajya Sriyanvita Nasajatendriyarthesu Niraham Matirarkavat
Vihesu Vartamanopi
Vihesi Vartamanopi
Sasamraja Sriyavitaha
Sasamrajya Sriyamvitaha
Sajantendriyartesu
Nasajatendriyarthesu
Nirahamatirakava
Niraham Matirarkavat
Viheshu Vartamanopi Sasamrajya Shriyanvitaha Nasajatendriyarteshu Nirahamatirarkavat
Viheshu Vartamanopi
Viheshu Vartamanopi
Sasamraja Shriyambita
Swasamrajya Sriyamvita
Nasajatendriyarteshu
Nasajatendriyarthesu
Nirahamatirakava
Nirahamatirarkavat
Viheshu Vartamanopi
Viheshu Vartamanopi
Sasamraja Shriyambita
Sasamrajya Sriyamvitaha
Nasajatendriyarteshu
Nasajatendriyarthesu
Nirahamatirakava
Nirahamatirarkavat Grihesu at home Vartamanaha being present Api although Saha King Prithu Samrajya the entire empire Shriya opulence Avi Anviditaha being observed in Na never Asajjata become attracted Indriya Arthesu for sense gratification Nihi nor Aham I am Matehe consideration Arka the sun but like translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Prithu, who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Please repeat. Maharaj Prithu was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Purport. The word Grihesu is significant in this verse. Out of the 4 ashramas, the Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Banaprastha and Sannyasa, only a Grihastha or householder is allowed to associate with women. Therefore, the Grihastha ashram is a kind of license for sense gratification given to the devotee. Prithu Maharaj was special in that although he was given license to remain a householder, and although he possessed immense opulences in his kingdom, he never engaged in sense gratification. This was a special sign that indicated him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee is never attracted by sense gratification, and consequently, he is liberated. Sorry, is that? In material life, a person engages in sense gratification for his own personal satisfaction. But in the devotional or liberated life, one aims to satisfy the senses of the Lord. In this verse, Maharaj Prithu is likened to the sun, Arkavat. Sometimes the sun shines on stool, urine, and so many other polluted things. But since the sun is all powerful, it is never affected by the polluted things like with which it associates. On the contrary, the sunshine sterilizes and purifies polluted and dirty places. Similarly, a devotee may engage in so many material activities, but because he has no desire for sense gratification, they never affect him. On the contrary, he dovetails all material activities for the service of the Lord. Since a pure devotee knows how to utilize everything for the his aim is to become completely purified in the service of the Lord without being affected by material designations. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Ena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sadhana Raghunathan Pitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savado Kanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Saharan Lalita Sri Visakhan Pitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpataru Bhakshakipa Sindhu Evacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvises Sundhu Bhaktapinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Grihesu Vartamanopi Sasamrajya Sriyanvita Nasajjatendriyarthesu Niraham Akirtak Niraham Matirak Arkava. Maharaj Prithu, who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder, since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses. He remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for not for material gain. We have a Vedas, so many branches of Vedas in which people are inspired to follow different paths for long life, healthy life, wealthy life, prosper life, better life, higher life, pure life, sattvic life, so many lives. Those are the path given in Vedas. Remaining within the injunction of scripture, one can obtain all these material gains by following Vedas. But Srimad Bhagavatam is completely different from that aspect of knowledge. It is not inspiring people at all to gain or enjoy even a tinge of material. It's completely talking about pure devotional service beyond the mode of material nature. Mode of ignorance, mode of goodness, mode of passion. Above. Nirbhrita tarsai rupagiya mana. Free from all. When one is completely free from material conception, when one is completely liberated from the bad thoughts, conceptions, then one can start the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why we have the example of great king in this Bhagavatam. King Amarisa, King Prahlad, King Durba, King Prithu. Who else? Who are the king? Yudhishthir, King Yudhishthir, great king. Chitraketu. And we never hear throughout this Bhagavatam, when we learn about this great king, that they were stressed, they were they were in anxiety, they were in suffering, because they were big managers. Nowadays, people are talking about stress management. They have a little small job. Oh, I'm so stressed out. I need some seminar for stress management. I need some time to manage my anger, my all kind of problem. The only reason those great kings were not stressed out was that they were great devotee of Krishna as well, along with their kingship, along with their big responsibility as a king. All of them were great surrendered devotee of Sri Krishna. This is the very secret weapon. I mean, secret, hidden secret, mysterious secret to remain happy, totally, completely engaging in this material world. Become a devotee of Krishna. That means one is not attached to a material sense enjoyment. He may be completely engaged in the activities like ordinary people, but the difference is one is attached to the fruit or result, one is not attached. That immediately free you from your stress, releases you from stress. Because when one becomes a devotee, he realizes that I am alone is not the doer of the thing. There are different 5 elements actively engaged in order to have something done. And ultimately, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate doer for everything that I do. When this knowledge is there in the devotee's mind, then devotee is not attached to the fruit. And even if he fail in his attempt, and he does not take it personally, so much so that he is stressed out. So devotee has a knowledge. So Upanishad says one have to have knowledge of both vidya and avidya in order to understand this nature of this material world and to get out of this. I was going to discuss about different kind of avidyas today, and how do we get out from those avidyas and obtain pure devotional service.
What is that in English?
Avidya means, yes, vidya is knowledge. Avidya means no knowledge. Ignorance, darkness, we can say, darkness, foolishness, all kind of synonyms for the avidya. When we pray, Om Ajnana, Timira means darkness. Ignorance, but in the mode of darkness. And vidya means knowledge, light, come out. Sarira avidyajal. This body is a network of all ignorance. That's what it is. We talk a lot about avidya, ignorance. And according to the scriptures, our great acharyas, they have divided this ignorance into 3 categories in material gross level. One of them is na jnanam. Jnana means knowledge. No jnana means no knowledge of at all. Like sometime when we like if I say something about some culture from Nepal, you may not be familiar at all. You may not know at all what that does mean. Or if somebody you asks to the people, common people, do you know Krishna? Oh no, I never heard about him. How knows? They said, I do not have any knowledge about any idea about Krishna. Who Krishna is? Oh, he's God. Okay, I don't know. That is not jnanam. Having no knowledge at all about something. Most of the time, people completely in the mode of ignorance, they are in this level. They don't know nothing. They simply enjoy life. And they sleep, drink, and do all kind of sinful activities. Completely. Again. Another type of ignorance is called mithya jnana. Mithya jnana means false knowledge. Mithya, that you have heard the word mithya. Mithya uchyate, mithya sannyas, mithya devotee, mithya bhakta, false like that. Like in this category, Prabhupada says all these Mayavadis, they take something as knowledge, but which is not. For example, we are not this body, but these people think we are this body. They say that God has a form, God is a personality, but they say, no, God has no form, God is not a person. This kind of knowledge is called, ignorance is called mithya gyan. We living entities, we do have a personal relationship with Krishna, a God. But they say, no, that's not true. You are God yourself. You can become God by practicing something. So they are spreading such kind of opposite thing. Is also called illusion, right? To consider something as knowledge which is not. It's called a mithya jnana. Another is viparita jnana. Viparita jnana means you know something is right, but you do not do it. You say, I don't care. I do what I like to do. Like all these demoniac people, they know that Krishna is God, but they think I want to kill Krishna. I know what is immorality, but I would like to do immoral things. I know following the path of religion make you disciplined, but I don't want to follow. Just like Duryodhana. He knew that Pandavas were the rightful person to have the kingdom, but he did not want to give them. So this is called a viparita jnana. You are going opposite direction, even though you know the thing, fact. This is another kind of ignorance called viparita jnana. The first one was na jnanam, not to have any idea about anything. Just like computer programming, Excel. Suppose, for example, Excel. I have no idea about Excel at all, so I do not know anything about it. So these three ignorance are there, and most of the time people are living in this kind of ignorance. Then, after we cross over this ignorance, there is another level of ajnana or ignorance. So now, when you reach another stage of ajnana, where you know all the knowledge about everything, basic some knowledge you have. You study scriptures, you follow sadhana, you come to the temple, you learn the book, you read book. But what happened, we do not have a realization of that knowledge. I do have a knowledge, but I do not have practical realization. I do not have any experience about what that knowledge is trying to tell me. Or in other words, I am not implementing that knowledge that I hear, or that knowledge I study, or that knowledge I read from the scriptures, but I am not applying in my life. We have seen such people, right? They know so many things, but they do not follow. This is also another kind of agyan, ignorance. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Naradhama, Nara Adhama. These people know everything, but they do not follow. Mhm. And Manu Samhita talks about how the knowledge that we have can be a realized knowledge. When do we make that knowledge that we have? When we will realize that there's a word called yukti. We have to use our common sense, wisdom, in order to make the theoretical knowledge into practical knowledge. So the Veda says that estanna Veda kim richa karisyati, which means if I do not know the purpose of some richa, means like sloka from the Vedas, there are so many richas, means like slokas written. If I do not know the meaning of that richa, so knowing that sloka, what is the use in my life? Prabhupada quote this verse so many times. Yasanna Veda kim richa karisyati. If I know this fire, it burned me, but if I foolishly touch the fire, then what is the use of my knowledge? So my knowledge is not practical, realized knowledge. I am simply learning just to become verified or big a speaker, and not following, and I do not receive any benefit from it. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking about three kind of agyan, is like namam duskritina muda prapadyante naradhama maya aparta jnanam asurim bhavam asrita. Namam duskritina muda means basic foolish people. They do not know nothing about anything. Namam duskritina muda Nara Adama. Nara Adama means those who know, they do not do it. They do not follow. And Maya Aparta Gyan, all this Mayavad is, Prabhupada is talking all the way in the Bhagavatam, everywhere about Mayavad. They always talk about something else, not the reality. Asurim means the demoniac people. They always do opposite of what scripture says. So this kind of people will never understand me. So we need to come out from that kind of ignorance. That is the message of Krishna. And another level of ignorance is that you do have knowledge and you also realize it. But it is not useful for other. You are only using for yourself, for your own personal self-interest. I do have knowledge. I do realize when I chant, I cry, my tears come out from my eyes. I go to the temple and I roll on the floor and I show all kind of symptoms of bhakti. But I am just enjoying for myself. Means I'm not distributing it or sharing it with other people. So in this category, all the sahajas fall under. Those who live in Vrindavan and then just do all kind of bhak sadhana, but they are just enjoying themselves. So people would tell Prabhupada, why are you going out of Vrindavan? And Prabhupada would say, I'm going out to distribute Vrindavan to other people. I'm going to preach. I'm going to give this bhakti that I experience to other people. One may be very realized in Sahajya. They may be very highly advanced and they may have a real realization. But in the viewpoint of Krishna, they are zero. Because they are simply focused on their own personal interest. But the devotees who are compassionate, who can see the suffering of other outer world, they want to distribute that knowledge to everyone. That is why a Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, a neophyte devotee who simply church join one day, devotee who comes to the temple and ring the bell, is 1,000 times better than a Mayavadi who has so much knowledge about scriptures. You have a question?
I do, but not, I was just scratching my head.
Okay. The Prabhupada, the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, those who are living in Vrindavan, they are all monkeys. His heavy statement. What did he say? All people who live in Vrindavan, because of that personal, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could see the mentality of those people. So when he was there, he was chased by these Babajis and all these devotees in Vrindavan. So the real knowledge, when you try to apply in your life and try to preach to the people, common people, come out, give up your comfort zone, just like our Prabhuji. What is your name, Prabhu? Janavapriya Prabhuji. He is literally he's very sick, he's an unhealthy person. He has so many health issues, medical issues. But he come out, he goes into different places and put a book table, universities, do Kirtan, distribute books. This is what Krishna likes. In the vision, in the eye of Krishna, such person is really very dear. Then someone who lives in Vrindavan and experience so many Ashtakaliya Leela of Krishna and then simply live a life. And this is yes, these people, this is also ignorance, but they are sahajas. We discuss about sahajas. And another kind of ignorance we have here is we are now all these agyanas are prakrita agyana, this material agyanas that we have to get rid of. But now we are talking about agyanas that we are desired to have in our life. To know the knowledge of ignorance is a real knowledge sometimes. It's very highly. You need to understand all this first part of my explanation to understand this statement. To have the knowledge of ignorance is a knowledge. So in this category, even though we have knowledge, practical realization, application, and everything, then we think, oh, by all this means, I am not going to get Krishna. Krishna doesn't care about all this, my personal experiences, everything. Technically in Sanskrit, it is called nisadan. Lord is completely free. He is yatha tatha bha vidadhat lampatu. He is not after your so many experiences, but he looks something else. And most of the time, people become the devotee of their own realization. Oh, I am so great. I have realized so much. I have practiced Krishna consciousness many years, and I do know all the scriptures. I know Krishna, this and that. But that gives us kind of sense of pride sometimes. And Krishna doesn't like that too. Like gopis of Vrindavan, they, in one way, they are very illiterate. They do not know much knowledge about the scriptures. It seems like externally, but this kind of avidya is produced from real knowledge. When Narada Muni was looking for the dust from the feet of Krishna's devotee, he was trying to go everywhere to find Brahmaji, Lord Shiva, great king, everywhere. And all of them are saying that, oh, yeah, we have studied from the scriptures that it is a great offense to give the dust from our feet to the Lord. It is really gross, very offensive to do so. So I don't want to be the part of this sinful action. Please go to somebody else. I am not going to give it to you. Because you are holding your knowledge and then not caring about what God wants, what Krishna wants at this time. And finally, when Narada Muni came to gopis of Vrindavan, they say, okay, we don't care about the scripture, we don't care about the shastras, we don't care about all the knowledge. If our lotus dust care Krishna's headache, then we are ready to go to hell. Yes, confirm. This is also avidya, but this is the desired avidya. This kind of real ignorance is desired. Then ultimately we can grasp Krishna within our grip. Otherwise, if simply we hold on our experience and on our knowledge, and we think I can grasp Krishna within my experience, then Krishna will go away from you. So this devotional service given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the highest. That is why he says that Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. This is the topmost knowledge that any other Vaishnava Sampradaya has in the current time. All the Vaishnava Sampradaya, they are simply stuck in Varnashram like this, oh, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, just do it, whatever do. Even Madhvacharya at the present moment, they do not chant Hare Krishna. Even though we are from them same Acharya. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So this chanting the holy name of God will free us from all this kind of material ignorance and elevate us in Krishna consciousness. There's a book, Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. Have you heard that book? And Prabhupada writes in that book, the elevation to Krishna Consciousness. Oh yeah, right there. So when you chant the Hare Krishna, you should chant in the feeling of separation from Krishna. Just like when a child cries, little baby here, he is saying something, he doesn't care about who are here around me, but let me just do it out of. He's genuinely saying something. We have to cry for Krishna in the mood of separation. My Lord, when I can join you again. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sold devotional service. He was running after, sometime he would be in a room and then knock his head in the wall and ask Krishna, right? So we don't want to become Sahajas, we don't want to become Mayavadis, we do not want to become a completely ignorant fool, we want to become a devotee, a loving person of Krishna, by knowing all this ignorance. Otherwise we fall into the same deeds of Mayavada if we are not aware about what it is. So this great king, they are showing the example how to be free from all kind of attachment and stress and live a happy life, prosper life. Here Prabhupada is saying, the sloka is saying that Maharaj Prithu was prosper because of the prosperity of his entire empire. He was not alone rich, but his whole empire was rich. That means all the people living in that state were completely happy and satisfied by Maharaj Prithu's guidance. And the pleasure of the citizen would give him immense pleasure. And he was a great devotee. He would always think. He would never misutilize the resources for his personal benefit. So this is what going on in this today's world. Everywhere is misutilized, misused, everything. So people should understand this, that this belongs to Krishna, and I am only an instrument to take care of this for the sake of preaching, not for the sake of my own personal gratification. So this is the message from Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Any question, any comment?
Thank you, Prabhu. Your classes are becoming my favorite classes every week. Look forward to your class. So nice. My question is, Krishna, we understand that we should not be attached to the results of our activities. But at the same time, when we're trying to do devotional service out of love for Krishna, there's a tendency to become attached to wanting to do it very nicely for Krishna. Or, like we really put all our heart into something when we try to do our service. And we understand that Krishna is ultimately in control, but whenever, when we feel like we didn't do enough for Krishna, or when, our service proves to be futile and what we're trying to offer, still we may have the tendency to feel heartbroken or cry, or because we wanted to do it. So we wanted to do this for Krishna so much.
That is accepted, Prabhu. That's good. That's like, for example, if you are Sankirtan devotee, you go to Harinam every day, you distribute books, and from tomorrow, your authority says, Kirtan Yaswara, from tomorrow you will be going for life membership collection. In that case, no, I don't want to do that. I'm attached to it. You are not attached to your service. Just switch to another service. That is what I meant to say. But to have your intense desire to please Krishna, to do more books, and then that is fine. That is absolutely fine. This is taking you more towards Krishna consciousness, not personal for your personal own gratification. Just like gopis, when they came to Krishna at the middle of the night, and Krishna just left them. He just left them. I don't care about it. Because you are a little pride here. He was not attached to them. So to have attachment to do some service to please Krishna is real attachment. We need to develop that attachment. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Omar?
I was wondering if you could remind me what the Bhagavad Gita says the definition of knowledge was.
Oh, Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, Brahmana Gavyastini, Sunichaiva Supagya Panita Samadarshila. That is, Bhagavad Gita talks so many knowledge in different ways.
13, 8 to 12.
Oh, yes. This is, There is a whole bunch list of knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. You can open. Let me read for. What was the chapter? 18?
8 to 12.
Yeah. Acharya Upasanam is also like that. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Amanitvam vitvam ahimsam santimarjabam acharya upasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigraha. Let me read translation. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All this I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever they may be, is ignorance. It's a very huge list.
Thank you.
Anything else? And after having all this knowledge, then you need to be humble. Vidya, Vinaya, Sampan. Vidya means all these things. When you have this Vidya and you are not humble, Vinaya, then it's not good. Hari Bolam. Okay, Chandrika Devi. It's a song. It's a new song, okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
You mentioned at the beginning about, people that go to work and they get stressed out, just even if they have a small job. I don't recall like Srila Prabhupada or any of the acharyas mentioning stress connected with, devotional service because it's so much more transcendental. So even though devotees work maybe even harder than people in their jobs, but they don't feel that sense of stress.
Yes.
Maybe you can elaborate.
Absolutely. Stress is another product of ignorance. When we start thinking, I am the doer, when I see somebody else doing more than me, then I start feeling, oh my God, I am not doing, he's doing a lot. This is all because of all this false identification, envy, all kind of thing. So when one realizes that, and they are not at all connected to God, they think that I am the doer, I can do anything else, I have education, I have knowledge, I have income, and I want to do more and more and more. For what? For my own satisfaction. And then you turn into stress out people at the same time. And you never find yourself that you are the best. You always see somebody else is better than yourself in your community, in your society. And that gives you very pain in your heart. Oh my God. Yeah, he is better than me. I thought I was great. I am working so hard. I am only able to buy one house, one car like this. Let me do more. Come on. And finally, you are ended up in crematorium. When I go to sometimes people call me for crematorium to pray. When I use my GPS, when I arrive there, your final destination is arrived. Then I realize this is my real destination to go at the end. But I think, no, this is not my destination. I have to do so much in my life. Let me do it. Come on, let me work hard and make more and more, expand and this and that. Life is gone. You never realize God. And you are stressed, full of always living in stress. Chaitanya Charan, Krishna Charan Prabhu, he is a teacher by profession. He go to school every week and come home. He has a temple as a home. And he invites so many people, feed them. And he never stress out. He never think, oh, I'm running out of money. I cannot feed all these people. But somehow it's going on. He knows that Krishna is the controller. Simple. It doesn't mean that devotee doesn't have a stressful situation. We do have so many problems. But we take it. Krishna will somehow guide us to go through it. Like yourself, you are also doing a big project, taking stress for the Krishna's devotees. You are taking devotees' stress in your head and then running ahead with pleasant, blissful mode. Anything else? We should always remember our final destination. This body's final destination.
I wonder if you can remind us of Maharaj Prithu's pastime, like in brief.
Oh, it's a whole story, big, long story. The whole chapter of Bhagavatam, Canto 4 is describing. Maharaj Prithu was partial incarnation of Vishnu himself. When his father was a bad king, the name of his father was King Bena. He was really very, very atheistic king, really bad king. He stopped all this spiritual activities in the society. And third, that I am the Supreme Lord, I am the one who is supplying to you everything. You should glorify me, not Lord Krishna. Because of me, you are getting everything. So he was such a demoniac king. And he stopped all the Brahminical people to perform their sacrifices, their spiritual activities. And the society was really disturbed, and it was going opposite direction. So the Brahmanas, qualified Brahmanas, they decided that this should be stopped. We should kill this king by chanting, by roaring mantras. The King Bena was killed, and from his body, the qualified Brahmanas, they were doing some kind of yogic process and gave birth to King Prithu, and Prithu Maharaj was born, and he was a great. He was surrendered, and he again reestablished anomalies that his father created, and he again brought everything right into the right track, and he leading people. Now people are satisfied, happy, feeling sheltered, and then the whole kingdom was flourishing like anything. He also like gave the Prithvi, the earth. Prithvi came from King Prithu. He leveled this earth, and so there are so many whole stories in Bhagavatam you can read. But in brief, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Haribol.
I have a question. It's a dumb question. I'm just curious to know what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam? I'm just curious to know.
It's not Bhagavad, it's a Bhagavad Gita. Gita is a God, song. It's a song of God. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna. And it has 5 major topics in the Bhagavad Gita. Among those topics, very first is Prakriti, nature. What? Who else? Time, Kala. 3 is Iswara, Krishna. And another is living being, living entities, Jiva. And what is the 5th? Karma. Karma is the 5th. These 5 topics are discussed in Bhagavad Gita, and it talks about who you are, what is so many. There are 18 chapters, 700 verses. They're talking about Krishna's opulences, Krishna, and talking about ourselves, our relationship, karma, so many things. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the expansion of that knowledge, where Krishna's devotees are sharing the realization of Krishna. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking, he is glorifying, he is revealing about himself, and Srimad Bhagavatam, his devotees are revealing about Krishna. Further exchange of all the different pastimes. So it's a big topic. In brief, it is.
Thank you.
Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says there's 2 types of Krishna kathas. He says there's the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He says the Bhagavad Gita is the teachings of Krishna, and the Bhagavatam is the pastimes of Krishna, or the Leelas of Krishna.
Yeah. This devotee is releasing the pastimes. All right. Thank you so much for your attention and your presence. We end up here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.